I want to know, like, what's something that you want to talk about in gaming? So I asked that question. We got one response from one of our loyal listeners on Facebook, and Alex, saying, best video games that were made out of movies or TV. So not the other way around, not movies based on video games or TV based on video games, but video games that came out of existing products.
I know you've done a little bit of digging on this.
I have.
I'm going to name ones that came to mind. Legit came to mind.
Okay.
The Lion King on Genesis.
Yeah, that game's hard.
It's very hard, but
I've literally never beat the hyena chase.
Yeah, I almost beat the game, but I did beat Aladdin, and Aladdin was a great adaptation. I know it's both Disney, but that was just great.
And just like the hyena chase, I never got out of the Cave of Wonders.
Yeah, well, back then I guess games had to be harder because your game actually wasn't that long, other than RPGs, obviously. But yeah, there's quite a few games that have been adapted from movies. What you got?
Before you say it, as far as the old game, it's funny. I actually heard literally somebody talk about that yesterday. Where think about the old games and how even the console ones were built with the arcade mentality of like pumping quarters into them. They were totally like, you're going to play these forever. You're only going to get 3 lives, sucker. Good luck on Contra without the Konami code. Anyways, I'm not going to start with my favorite yet, but I am going to start with something where, until I really started thinking about this topic, it didn't come to mind right away. WWF SmackDown on the PlayStation.
I didn't even think about it. We were talking movies and TV, and I didn't even think about the greatest soap operas of all time being on video games, because that's really what wrestling is. Come on.
Absolutely. I have a very fond memory of a guy I used to hang out with, and SmackDown 2 came out. I went over to his house. We literally played for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Like, we might have slept like a couple hours, but we beat every mode. We got the tag team championship together. Like, we decided who was going to be the champion. Like, we did all these different Hells in the Cell. Like, it was where they put Hell in the Cell in the game.
Yeah.
Oh man, SmackDown! I know that a lot of people like. What is it on the 64?
So I like the. Okay, there's the WWE. I forgot the name of WWF.
No. I feel like no's in the word.
No Mercy.
No Mercy. Yeah. There we go. That's the one that everybody likes.
I actually liked. More than that, I know that No Mercy had like a lot of customization and everything, but I actually liked the WCW versus NWO.
Revenge,
it was the same engine, same game company made both of them. Was it Revenge? Yeah, it was Revenge.
Yeah,
and that game, I mean, no joke, had like 70 wrestlers. Everyone was in it, and then you could make your own, wrestlers as well. So you had all these others. You could make your own wrestler, and it was down to like every single move set. That was one of the first times being able to customize a character and to be able to do exactly what I wanted it to do. And I always felt like Sting wasn't fair in that game. I felt like Sting was the most OP character, but then again, in SmackDown, I was always Stone Cold to the Rock. So. Jason in the chat, you brought up a game, Jason, that I wasn't sure if I should put on the list because I was like, does it count as a TV show first, or are we counting it as a comic book? Did the game come out after the movie? But TMNT is a great call, especially Turtles in Time. Turtles in Time was amazing, and I didn't get to play it until like recent years because I didn't have the SNES. So wait, for real? Yeah. For real. Like, you didn't play it until as an adult? As an adult. Oh, wow. As an adult. I also didn't play Link to the Past until I was an adult. I know. I know, it's crazy.
We'll let that go.
I know.
I don't like that. That's probably like the 10th time you said that to me, and I still never let it go.
I know.
So no, I'm probably never gonna let it go.
Remember, I didn't have a SNES. That's my one of my biggest regrets. I have a couple of regrets in my life. That's one of them.
So what you got next?
Oh man. Okay, I'll admit I stole this from you because you said it when you were like rattling off things we were talking before. But Home Alone was so bad. It was good.
I played the crap. I loved that movie. I've seen that movie hundreds of times. I know a lot of people could say that, but like, I've seen that movie hundreds of times.
Oh yeah, that's one of the most quotable movies ever. I will say when I was a kid, I liked it's same thing with Back to the Future. I liked the second one better than like the first one when I was a kid.
Really?
When I was a kid. And then when
the first one's far superior.
Yeah, the first one is so much better. But like as a kid, because in the second Home Alone, he was in New York, and he had the Talk Boy, which didn't even exist.
I had one of those.
I had one of those too. Yeah, and that was amazing. And then same thing with Back to the Future. I mean, you're in the future and you got a hoverboard, and like when you're a kid, you're like, that's so cool. And then when you get to be an adult, you're like, the story's not there.
So I bought the duo of those two movies during Christmas this year because I decided to buy a whole bunch of things. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post on it whenever I was watching Home Alone 2. Those guys died so many times. All the stuff that he did to him, like he is a murderer.
He is.
He straight murdered them.
I will say he just did an interview on Joe Rogan because like he's been like in the spotlight more now.
Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin.
Nice. I gotta go watch that.
He spent like a couple years in Paris. Like just apparently someone was like, one of his friends were in Paris and they're like, hey, you should move here and learn French and eat. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that next week. And then he just
why not?
Why not? He's still living off the money from Home Alone because he invested it properly. And even though he lives not lavishly, I mean, he's a smart man. You make that much money, and he's still
Richie Rich.
Yeah, exactly, Richie Rich money right there. Casper the Friendly Ghost.
God, he was in Casper?
Yeah, he was Casper. The very end of the movie.
No, he was not.
Yeah, wasn't he?
He might have been Casper's voice, but he was not Casper.
No, at the very end of the movie when Christina Ricci sees him.
Nope, that was not him.
Wasn't it?
It wasn't him.
Wasn't? Hold on.
I'll bet you $1.
Am I having one of those Mandela effect moments? Movie ending. I thought it was him.
There's the guy that was that even like has it. I think it's on like his Twitter or something where he's like,
oh yeah,
I was like famous for 2 seconds. I know it was.
So I totally had that. I had that moment.
He was in My Girl and Richie Rich.
Of course,
and
The Good Son,
Home Alone.
The Nutcracker ballet. It's on streaming on. It was streaming on Netflix. It's probably still on there. But there's like there's a Nutcracker movie adaptation of the play, The Nutcracker, and he does ballet because he was a ballet dancer.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, got another one for you. Total Recall on the NES. Did you ever play that?
So are you naming best or worst?
Both. Those are so bad it's so good. Okay, so those are so bad it's good. Sorry, those.
For those of you who don't know Patrick's taste, he loves terrible things.
I find joy in the terror and the horrible abominations that are on there.
I think Blank Check was him, wasn't it?
Oh no!
You ask a great question, Jason.
No, wasn't that other kid?
The guy that was in Milk Money or something? Blank Check. That was Brian Bonsall. I don't know who that is, but I know that kid's face.
I'm like looking up his face now because I'm like I don't remember. I remember the movie. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember that kid's
definitely
face.
Not him.
Not Macaulay Culkin, but a very similar thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like they were all the same, right? Yeah, that kid, the kid from Blank Check was in Family Ties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got. Go ahead. You get one, and then.
But Total Recall, dude, that game's awful.
Okay. Yeah. That was pretty bad. I just had to say it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not gonna get to my favorite yet, but Goldeneye, dude.
Okay. Probably the best game adapted and having a name of any movie ever. That's one of the best games like on Nintendo 64.
the thing that basically like that
It's the only
brought multiplayer first person shooter like that. It's bad now. It does not hold up at all. But think about that in terms of like one of the first games where you're like playing with your friends in the team deathmatch or like a free for all type thing, where you had those things where it's like you're screen cheating. Also, just the one player, the campaign. Like I still remember, like especially that first level where you go in, you shoot the dude in the bathroom. Like, that game was so good.
So
that was a good time.
Yeah, that was good stuff. No, it's
slappers, paintball mode.
I remember playing Goldeneye at one of my friends' houses, and we took the N64 from his room into the living room because we needed to play on a bigger TV. There were 4 of us, and we were playing on the big TV. That was a 36-inch TV with 4, like not just split in 2, split in 4 ways. But the game was still so good. It was perfect. Still great. Yeah.
What else you got? I got 2 more.
The Matrix. On
you talking about that? You talking about the PlayStation 2 game?
Yeah.
That was a fun game.
It was fun. It made me feel like I was like in the Matrix. Like the gameplay was I'd been playing like a bunch of like the Jedi Knight games around that time, and it kind of felt like that, but I didn't feel like I had to. I was more immersed. Whenever I played Jedi Knight, like I was thinking about like keyboard shortcuts and stuff, and that game I wasn't thinking about it. It's just like you do, and it was really cool being able to do like wall runs and doing the dive, and bullet time was just amazing.
And even though the second movie sucked, like in comparison to the first, the third one was even worse than that. But the fact that it was really cool how it integrated itself into the second movie, where while the Neo thing is going on, you are a side character in there. In like the fact they merged that story in there, which was. And
that's what I really appreciated
cool.
That. Yeah. What else you got?
So you mentioned the franchise there, and I'm just gonna go all encompassing because we've done Star Wars before.
Yeah.
But there are so many good games that have come out of that movie franchise, and to name a few, with Rogue Squadron, with Shadows of the Empire, with the Star Wars Trilogy arcade game, with KOTOR. I'm gonna stop there because I'll just keep going forever.
Oh yeah,
but
I just played Jedi Academy like for the Gold Plus Roundup.
The first 15 years of my life are littered with Star Wars games. Not so much the last few years. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Respawn.
I'm really hoping.
Give it to me this fall.
I'm really hoping. But yeah, I could do the same thing. Everything from TIE Fighter, the Dark Knight, the Dark Forces series was like totally my jam. Like, I know that everyone really liked. I think people liked it from Dark Forces 2 onward. I thought the first one was still great, but yeah, once you got a lightsaber in those games, it was just amazing. I even said in our Gold Plus Roundup review that's going to air later on, I even stated, like, if you're not using a lightsaber in this game, you're not even living. Like, it's like, why use... They have Han's blaster in the game. Who cares?
Like, never cared. Like, as awesome as Han is in the movie, I've never cared about being him in the games whatsoever. Like, if I want to be anybody with a blaster in Star Wars, I want to be freaking Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one else I want to be other than Boba Fett. Maybe Stormtrooper. I mean, when we get to Battlefront 2, that's a different thing. But you want to be Boba Fett, not Han. No, if you're a good guy, you want a lightsaber, baby.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I got one more before
Me too.
You. Okay, and I may steal yours. Let's see if I steal it.
I doubt it.
Spider-Man.
No, you did not steal it, but that is a good call.
I know
now, are we talking new Spider-Man, or are we also throwing in Spider-Man 2 in there?
I'm putting Spider-Man 2 in there. I'm totally putting Spider-Man 2 in there. And it was one of the first games, it was around when Grand Theft Auto 3 and everything was going on, and it lent itself very well. And I'll give an honorable mention to this because no one ever talks about it, but the Superman Returns game on PlayStation 2, which I thought was pretty good. It's basically the same thing as Spider-Man, except you fly around as Superman. But it's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same thing.
I just want to have you heard of a game called Steep?
No, what is that? Well, hold on. Steep? No, the winter sports game?
It's like Yeah,
I just played it.
So it has nothing to do with this conversation other than the fact that like somebody posted on a group I'm in where it's like, Steep might be the worst game I've ever played. And I was like, Superman 64.
Yep.
You kidding?
Fly through some rings, more rings. I get the idea of the game is you're not supposed to be in Metropolis. You're in a simulation that Lex Luthor created. But come on, It's stupid. It's stupid. So what's your number one?
And again, I found out after looking through this, there's a whole bunch of great games, but the one that like really stuck with me is kind of along the lines of the TMNT thing, where I'm like, do I throw this in here or not? And that's Telltale's The Walking Dead. Now you can do this with a lot of Telltales, but Telltale's Walking Dead, that series has meant a lot to me. Not because I'm a big Walking Dead fan either. It's because it got me into a genre where I didn't realize that I could love a game so much that really is like just playing through a story. It's like what do you call this? Is it digital novels? Not the right word, but
the visual novels.
Yeah, visual novel is the word I was looking for. Playing through a visual novel, I never thought that I would get so much emotion out of playing through a visual novel and calling that a video game. And it's Life is Strange is another one of those, but it started with me playing the first Walking Dead game. And still so good. All of them have been great. The Michonne one was like a little weird that it got thrown in there, but it was still a lot of fun.
I played the first two, and I really liked both of them. But I mean, Telltale's Guardians of the Galaxy was really good too. I mean, I would like to see more, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen.
I have to give Alex credit here. I made a very joking comment. I was like, this topic's probably not going to have much air. So whenever he brought it up, I said Batman Forever, because it's the worst. It's so terrible.
I remember playing that on Genesis.
Awful.
And I was
absolutely awful.
And I wanted to I liked it only because of the visuals, because it was like motion captured. Like
really weirdly done.
Yep. Similar to Mortal Kombat, where they literally did multiple pictures, photographs, not a rotoscoping. But I really wanted to like it because of that, and because I liked that movie.
Absolutely. As cheesy as it is.
Come on, Jim Carrey's amazing in that. Yeah, and Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer's not a bad Batman. I'm serious.
Yeah, he wasn't terrible. And like it wasn't anything like Batman and Robin. So it turned out that this topic was actually really good, and it encouraged me. So I want to start putting it out there on a more weekly basis. I'll probably post it a few times on this page a week. So if you aren't following the This Week in Our Collective Heads on Facebook already, please do so. And I want to hear just, if you're thinking about something game related, I'm going to throw out a thing like, hey, what do you want us to talk about this week? I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. I want you guys to join that conversation. So I appreciate Alex kicking that off for us. And feel free to look out for those posts in the future. And because me and Patrick enjoyed. I think this turned into a really good topic that we talked about, so I'm glad we did.
Like you said, we have the gift of gab, so let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about, and let us know your favorite video game adaptation from a movie to a video game. And maybe we'll do another where we talk about our actual movies that we liked that were movie adaptations of video games. Mario Brothers?
We're going to talk about things that Patrick likes because they're so bad that Patrick loves them.
No, we'll talk about good ones.
What good ones?
I don't know. You'll find out.
Tomb Raider?
Yes. See you later.
thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.